dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Good Wednesday evening to you. I'm Dakota Makris. Thanks for joining us. A fire in Pike County leaves a family mourning their loved one and a community talking about a woman who was always ready to give back. Our buddy Forbes has more from the smoke-filled scene in Phelps.
I got a call saying it was on fire and they couldn't get in.
An overnight fire in the Phelps community.
They couldn't get the lady out. They couldn't get the door open. And so I jumped up and went out the door and got me a sledgehammer and put it in my truck to come down, and it's going to knock the door down and get her out. But when I got here, flames was really high.
Leaving the loved ones of 65-year-old Teresa Fields in shock.
It was really tough to realize that you couldn't help somebody and somebody was in there in that huge flame.
First responders got the call just after midnight Wednesday, responding to a scene where the flames were burning high and the time had run out.
Anytime responding to a call like this, it's a very emotional time for the community, we understand. It's also an emotional time for the investigators and the fire departments that responded there. These types of calls tend to stick with you for a long time.
And though the tragedy of her death is a heavy weight,
Sad tragedy in the human life.
It is her life that is being discussed as the smoke clears.
And she with anybody come by, she'd try to be of an aid to them and help them.
A woman who will forever be remembered.
For those that was around her, she was a very treasure to them, and it will be a great loss to our community.
As a neighbor to all. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, the cause of the fire is still under investigation, but Trooper Michael Coleman says no foul play is expected. He says this is just a grim reminder to check on your heat sources as the winter weather continues here in the mountains. Kentucky State Police said they are looking for a wanted man in the Harlan County area. 60-year-old Franklin R. Harmon is wanted for failing to comply with the sex offender registry. If you have any information, you are asked to call police. And Kentucky State Police are investigating an officer-involved shooting. Now, it happened around 10 o'clock last night in Corbin. Troopers say they were trying to conduct a traffic stop when the car sped off. Police say that suspect drove into a nearby parking lot, hid behind an apartment building, and began shooting at police. A trooper fired back and hit the suspect. The suspect was taken to a hospital to be treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The trooper is on administrative leave. Well, a Wayne County man is accused of firing 2 weapons and threatening law enforcement officers. The sheriff's office said they responded to a shots fired call. They say when they announced themselves at the door, James Bell threatened to shoot them. After a brief standoff, authorities were able to talk Bell out of the home. Deputies found several guns and shell casings inside the home. 2 homes nearby were also hit by gunfire. Bell is facing wanton endangerment and terroristic threatening charges.
Keeping an eye on the last of our sunset out there on this Wednesday evening. It's a mild one around the region today and a pretty nice end to it, as a matter of fact. London Corbin Airport right now, you see what we're dealing with. Those high clouds working through, giving us a pretty nice sunset there on the left side of your picture. 47 right now. It's 46 here in Buffalo Mountain in Perry County. A very calm scene there as well, with the last of that, like I said, the last of the sunset there pushing below the horizon. Most of us right now into the upper 40s and very few 50s, if any at all. Got to go out to Louisville before we run into a 50-degree temperature still. That's still about 10 degrees to 15 degrees warmer than we were at 6:03 p.m. on Tuesday. So we have seen quite a bit of an improvement temperature-wise. Continuing to see a few clouds push through the region this evening. We'll continue to see that and more clouds work through during the overnight hours. So keep that WYMT weather app handy as we run through tonight, because we're going to continue to see potential for a few of those clouds. But most of us, in fact, we all will stay dry and in the mid-30s for overnight lows. I'll have the latest on when some showers could return and maybe even more coming up in a few minutes. Dakota?
All right, Evan, thank you. A mudslide is causing a portion of Kentucky 134 in MAGOFFIN County to be closed. Now, the road is closed at mile point 7.5 just west of the intersection of US 460 and Kentucky 7. Now, this portion of the road will be closed until crews can remove that slide. An estimated reopening time is not known at this time. Drivers are asked to detour via the Mountain Parkway and Kentucky 30 while the road is blocked. While the Laurel County Health Department gave away a limited supply of free at-home COVID tests today, Laurel County averaged more than 160 cases per day for the last few days. The test kits being given out are the home self-test kits. Now, the kits require a smartphone to use, but researchers say they are 96% effective. Health Department employees are hoping this can help stop the spread in their county.
We felt like this would be a good thing to utilize and pass out for those that needed to be tested and for those who cannot get into other facilities to test. So it's a good way to help mitigate the spread of the virus at this moment.
Executive Director Mark Hensley says this is an event they have been working on for some time now, and while supplies were limited, they are hoping to do it again soon in the future. Well, primary care in Perry County is one of the first places to offer the Pfizer COVID antiviral pill. Our Jade Saylor spoke with doctors about how the pill works and how patients can benefit from it.
Primary care in Perry County is one of few places with the Pfizer COVID-19 pill available, and it came at just the right time.
We have been very excited, especially with the information coming out that the antibody infusions that we had available are not as effective against the Omicron variant that is becoming dominant in our state.
Monday, January 10th was the first day it was offered to patients.
It's an antiviral treatment. It's a 5-day course. It's 3 tablets twice a day for 5 days.
Doctors say there may be minor side effects as with any medication, but research is proving the pill works.
It's an emergency use authorization from the FDA, but the data that we have from Pfizer, who developed the drug, shows that it is 85 to 90% effective in preventing hospitalization or severe complications.
If you are exposed or get COVID symptoms, it is important to test immediately.
The medication does work best if it's started within the first 5 days.
Primary care offers a team of doctors, pharmacists, and more working together to ensure patients do well with the new pill.
We have staff that are calling those patients every day to follow up, both to make sure that they're not having any side effects, that they're tolerating the medication, to see how they're improving, and to make sure that they're taking the medication correctly, that they complete the full course for the 5 days.
The pill is currently only being offered to those that are high risk for more severe illnesses from COVID. In Perry County, Jade Saylor, WIMT, Mountain News.
Well, during the first week of offering the COVID treatment pill, doctors at primary care are not receiving reports of side effects from those who took it. Well, Governor Andy Beshear reported today marked the highest COVID-19 numbers since the pandemic began. The state reported 11,232 new cases today. Now that brings our case total to just a little under 953,000. Now there were 21 new deaths as well, but in the Commonwealth's death toll at 12,455. The positivity rate is now at a record 27.39%. You can always find the latest COVID-19 information on our website at WYMT.com. Well, the governor held a news conference to announce healthcare investments in the Commonwealth this afternoon. Now, one of the numerous topics he covered related that to mental health. The governor announced 2 financial strategies to help in this department. The first being the fund to the implementation of the 998 crisis support line that is planned to go into effect of July of this year. This 3-digit number will replace the National Suicide Hotline. Now that makes it easier for people to get the help that they need.
Think about that. These are calls by folks that may be suicidal themselves or family members that are desperately and immediately needing help for someone that they are worried would take their own life or need help. 56% more calls will undoubtedly save more lives.
Now, the budget also includes investments to phase in 100 additional new staff to Kentucky's community mental health centers that will help provide support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. Well, Matt Brown, the Senior Vice President of Administration at Addiction Recovery Care, or ARC, released the following statement today regarding Governor Beshear's proposed investment in the state's nursing workforce, stating, quote, Addiction Recovery Care is encouraged by the governor's proposed investments in Kentucky's nursing workforce. Nurses are essential in treating our family members, friends, colleagues, and neighbors who are struggling with substance use across the Commonwealth. With overdose deaths continuing to skyrocket amid the pandemic, nurses will continue to serve an integral role in our healthcare system and our communities, end quote. The national blood shortage continues throughout the nation, and folks in the Big Sandy area will have a chance to help out tomorrow. The American Red Cross is hosting a blood drive at the Mountain Arts Center in Prestonsburg tomorrow. People can donate at any time between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Well, property tax bills on your cars will start going out from Kentucky County clerks in just a few days, and you might be shocked at the higher price. The value on new and especially those used cars has soared during the pandemic. Now, that is reflected in your property taxes. Some Kentucky lawmakers say bills filed this year could provide some relief. Now, that's the purpose of House Bill 6. There's a similar bill in the Senate.
I think it's appropriate that anyone that has paid a higher rate than they should have, that they get a refund on that. Just contrary to what state law is, and they did that without really any, proper procedure to make that change.
Well, if passed, the House bill will allow people who have already paid their car tax this year to get a refund for overpayment. 2 Pike County natives are heading to New England area a bit later this year to take part in one of the biggest marathons in the world. Our Jordan Mullins has more from Joel Thornberry and BJ Fuller, who are running for an important cause at the 2022 Boston Marathon.
In 2020, Joel Thornberry secured his spot as a charity runner with Team Red Cross in the Boston Marathon. Shortly after, the race was canceled, leading him to run the 26.2-mile marathon virtually throughout the city of Pikeville.
COVID has just changed a lot of our lives, for sure. As a healthcare professional and as a runner, a marathoner, we've had to make some adjustments.
Thornberry helped another Pike County native secure his spot in the 2022 Boston Marathon with Team Red Cross, and both get to run through the streets of Boston together.
The Boston Marathon is the Super Bowl of running. This is the equivalent for a runner of actually getting to go play in the Super Bowl. So the oldest and most prestigious race in the world, and it really means a lot to just be a small part of it.
Thornberry was tasked with raising $10,000 for the Red Cross in 2020 before the race was canceled. Now, Fuller faces the same objective.
The Red Cross is really the goal and the charity that we're supporting, and that's where all the monies go to.
Running with a purpose.
It's really a sobering feeling because of the good work that they do, because of all of the things that they have done across the country, and being able to be a part of that and being able to help contribute really means a lot.
And contributing to something much bigger than themselves. In Pikeville, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, you can help Fuller and donate through the Red Cross by visiting his Give and Gain link. You can find that link over on our website. Well, one group in Martin County plans to take a piece of history and make it a platform for humor. The historic Martin County Courthouse has been an ongoing restoration project as the Tourism Board works to make it into a venue for the people of Inez and the surrounding areas. And part of that new plan kicks off later this month with the recently announced comedy at the courthouse, hoping to bring some laughs to the downtown scene.
So we're really excited to see that space restored. That's a project that we're working to get some more funding for, but we're hoping to host events like this upcoming comedy show to help show that it's a viable space and that it's an asset in our community that we want to see preserved for the future.
Now, the first event is planned for January 29th at 7 p.m. with Martin County native Joey Stepp opening the show. Christopher Izzy is the feature act, and Jake Hovis will headline. Tickets are $10 and will be sold at the door.
Well, coming up, showers are on the way as we head into the end of the work week and perhaps snow chances by the weekend. I'll break everything down on the way. Don't go anywhere.
And lawmakers are taking action today to help Western Kentucky tornado victims.